Hi Nana, good evening. Now we are going to learn about the next periodic property known as ionization energy or else ionization potential. So what is ionization energy? So here the name ionization, that means here an atom is converted into ion. So here generally it is related to mainly related to metals, and even it may be applicable for non-metals also, but it is mainly related to metals. So first let us learn what is ionization energy. Suppose if there is an atom and this is the nucleus of an atom, and here electron, so electrons are present in various orbits. Okay, right. You look here, in this atom every electron is under the influence, under the force of attraction of the nucleus. Okay, suppose if you want to remove an electron, so which electron we may remove? We can remove only the outermost electron, the electron which is present in the outermost orbit. We can remove. We cannot remove the electrons from the inner shells directly. Okay, so only after removal of all electrons from the outermost orbit, then we may remove electron from the inner orbit. Okay, so to remove an electron, we have to remove only from the outermost orbit. Let it be. See, there will be force of attraction. For example, suppose if this is an electron, and there will be force of attraction between the nucleus and the electron. This nucleus, it will try to pull the electron towards the center. Okay. See, if I want to remove this electron, I have to break the force of attraction between the nucleus and this electron. So, against the force of attraction of the nucleus, I have to remove that electron. So, in order to remove the electron from the atom, against the force of attraction of the nucleus, I need to spend some energy. So, certain amount of energy I need to spend. So, that energy is said to be ionization energy. So, here the minimum amount of energy, required okay, for what? To remove an electron, the minimum amount of energy required to remove an electron from the outermost orbit of a. So here actually this is an atom, so we can remove electrons only from an isolated atom, that means individual atom, a separate atom. Only from the separated atom we can remove electron. Okay, we cannot remove electron from combined atoms. So that means here energy is required to remove an electron from the outermost orbit of a gaseous. See, the individual atom or else separated atom or else isolated atom is always be in a gaseous state. So, outermost orbit of a gaseous neutral isolated atom. Okay, that minimum amount of energy. So, that minimum amount of energy required to remove an electron from the outermost orbit of a gaseous neutral isolated atom is called ionization energy. Is called ionization energy. It is also called as ionization enthalpy also. Ionization enthalpy. Generally, it is denoted by delta IEH ionization energy. So delta H means enthalpy. So delta IH means ionization energy related to ionization enthalpy, or else it is also called as ionization potential. Okay, right. Here generally already we have discussed that ionization energy is related to metals. So suppose this is a metal atom, let us assume. So now the metal atom is in gaseous state. So in order to remove an electron, that means an electron is removed. An electron is separated from an atom. That means the metal atom. So now the metal will become positive charged. Okay. So actually this also will be in gaseous state. So in order to remove an electron, or else in order to separate an electron from an atom, okay, so the energy spent is said to be ionization energy, or else ionization potential. And here this ionization energy, commonly it is also called as first ionization energy. Ionization energy or else ionization potential, it is commonly called as first ionization energy. First ionization energy. First ionization energy. Okay. Or else simply IE1. First ionization energy. So I am writing IE1. See, generally from neutral atom. What is neutral atom? If the number of electrons and protons are same in the atom, then it is said to be neutral atom. So generally an atom is neutral. Okay. So from that neutral atom, if an electron is removed, so it should be the first electron from the first removed electron from the atom. That means, so removed first electron. Okay, always the first electron should be removed from the outermost orbit. Even first electron or second electron, any electron should be removed from the outermost orbit. So now here, as we are removing the electron first electron from the atom, then it is said to be first ionization energy. Okay, it is denoted with IE1. See, look here, ionization energy, it is an endothermic process. It is an endothermic process. Ionization energy is an endothermic process. It is an endothermic process. Why it is called as endothermic process? Because here some energy is spent. So we are supplying energy to atom. So unless until we spend some energy, the atom cannot break its force of attraction between the nucleus and electron. That means we are supplying some energy to the atom such that that energy will help to break the force of attraction between the nucleus and electron, electron from the outermost orbit. So that is why some energy is supplied to the atom. Atom is taking energy from the outside. Hence it is said to be endothermic process. So ionization energy is always an endothermic process. Okay. Generally, ionization energy, it is measured in certain units. Now let us learn the units of ionization energy. Units, if you see the units of ionization energy, so it is measured in electron volt per atom. Electron volt per atom. EV means electron volt per atom, or kilojoule per mole. Kilojoule per mole or kilocalories per mole. So there is a conversion between each and everything. 1 electron volt, it is equal to 1 electron volt is equal to 96.45. So 1 electron volt, it is equal to 1 electron volt per atom is equal to 96.45 kilojoule per mole, and which is also equal to 23.06 kilocalorie per mole. Okay, or else it is equal to 1.602 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joule per mole. Sorry, joule per atom. Should be joule per atom. Okay, 1 electron volt per atom is equal to 1.602 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joule per atom. So in this way, there are several units. See, as it is energy, ionization energy is it's related to energy. It is an energy quantity. Hence, the unit will be either in electron volts or kilojoules or kilocalories. Okay. Now let us learn some more points about this ionization energy. Suppose if you want to remove 2 electrons from an atom, for example, magnesium is there. So magnesium. So let us assume this is the nucleus of magnesium atom. This is the nucleus of magnesium atom. So I am writing magnesium. So here it is having 2 electrons in the first orbit, 8 electrons in the second orbit, and 2 electrons in the third orbit. So the electron arrangement of magnesium will be 2, 8, 2. Suppose with this arrangement the magnesium atom is not stable. It is not stable. Why? Because an atom is stable when its outermost orbit contains 8 electrons. But here in magnesium only there are 2 electrons. Hence it is not stable. So for this magnesium to get stability, it has to gain 6 more electrons or it has to lose 2 electrons. Suppose if it loses 2 electrons, then this will become the outermost orbit. Then that magnesium will become stable. Hence magnesium will lose these 2 electrons. That means 2 electrons will be lost from magnesium. See, this is a magnesium atom. It's a neutral atom. So initially it loses 1 electron. 2 electrons means I am writing like this, 2 electrons. So it will lose 1 electron and forms Mg plus, and 1 electron is lost. So in order to remove first electron, so the energy required is said to be first ionization energy IE1. And so after removing one electron only, that magnesium won't become stable. So I have to remove, that means magnesium, it has to lose 1 more electron. So after losing 1 electron, so now the magnesium will be in this form. So it is said to be unipositive ion. It is a neutral atom. It is a neutral atom and it is unipositive ion. Unipositive ion. What is the meaning of unipositive? That means 1 unit of positive charge. Now the second electron is lost from this one, because already magnesium has been converted into Mg plus after loss of 1 electron. Now at all, if you want to remove the second electron, so that electron should be removed from this one, because this neutral atom, there is no more magnesium neutral atom. Now the magnesium is in this form. That means now you are removing 1 more electron from magnesium plus 1, and finally it forms Mg plus 2 and 1 more electron is lost. So in order to remove 1 more electron from Mg plus 1, that means now you are removing second electron from total. You are removing the second electron from that atom. So as a whole you are removing the second electron. So that is why it is said to be second ionization energy, IE2. Okay, first of all I have removed 1 electron. So when I remove 1 electron, what happens? The force of attraction between the nucleus and the electron will become stronger. Before that there are 12 protons, 12 positive charges and 12 negative charges. 12 positive charges and 12 negative charges are there before removal of electron, first electron. Okay. Now, after removal of the first electron, what happens? 12 positive charges, but only 11 negative charges. That means nucleus will have more control over the electrons. So that means nucleus will pull these electrons with more force of attraction because of less number of negative charges when compared to the number of positive charges in the nucleus. Okay, that means, so in order to remove the second electron, we have to spend more energy when compared to the removal of first electron. Okay, so here that means ionization energy 2, it is more, it is greater than ionization energy 1. Okay, so how do you define ionization energy 2? Ionization energy 2 is nothing but, see from where that second electron is removed. So second electron is removed from unipositive magnesium. Hence, second ionization energy is defined as the amount of energy required required to remove an electron from a unipositive ion is called the minimum amount. Here also minimum amount. The minimum amount of energy required to remove an electron from a unipositive ion is called second ionization energy. Second ionization energy, or else IE2. So that is called as IE2. Always remember that. So whenever an electron is removed from an atom, now the nucleus will become more powerful and it will show more force of attraction over the remaining electrons. So that is why in order to remove the second electron from an atom, it requires more energy because nucleus has become more powerful as the number of positive charges are more and number of negative charges are less. So nucleus will have more control over these electrons. Hence these electrons are tightly bonded towards the nucleus. Now to remove this second electron, it requires more energy. So always remember that IE2 is always greater than IE1. Okay, right. Now suppose if I want to remove third electron from an atom, for example aluminum is there, let us assume aluminum. So in aluminum, so there are 3 electrons in the valence shell, so there are 13 protons in the nucleus. So aluminum, it will become stable only after losing 3 electrons from the outermost shell. Suppose if I want to remove first electron, then it is said to be first ionization energy. So I am removing first electron from aluminum atom. So now I have to spend energy. So that is called as first ionization energy. Now after removal of 1 electron, now aluminum will become unipositive ion. So from this unipositive ion, I will remove second electron by spending some more energy. Now aluminum will become dipositive ion. Dipositive ion. Okay, now second electron is also removed. Now if you count after removal of second electron, if you count the number of protons and number of electrons, so there are 13 positive charges but only 11 negative charges. That means the controlling power of nucleus will become more over the electrons. So that is why all these electrons were tightly packed or else tightly attracted by the nucleus, and they are tightly bonded to the nucleus. So if that is the case, then to remove this electron, it will become more difficult. Okay, that means suppose from this atom, from this ion, Al plus 2, from Al plus 2, if you want to remove one more electron, then it forms Al plus 3, Al plus 3, and one more electron is lost. Now the energy spent is said to be third ionization energy. It is said to be third ionization energy. Remember that always IE3 is greater than IE2. So ionization energy, see, look here, the first ionization energy is less than second ionization energy, second ionization energy will be less than third ionization energy, and third ionization energy will be less than the fourth ionization energy. Generally, we cannot remove more than 3 electrons from an atom in general. So removal of a fourth electron, it is very difficult. So that is why we generally discuss about the 3 ionization energies only. Okay, right. So this is the way how ionization energy can be discussed, and definitions of ionization energy will be. See how ionization energy is determined. Ionization energy can be determined by spectral studies or discharge tube experiments. So it is determined by either spectral studies so this is experimental spectral studies or by discharge tube experiments. Discharge tube experiments either by spectral studies or by discharge tube experiments. So the ionization energy can be determined. Okay, right. Now we will learn about the factors on which the ionization energy depends. So in this way, third ionization energy, again definition will be somewhat differs from second ionization energy. Okay, so definitions will go right. Now let us learn about the factors that depend upon ionization energy. Sorry, ionization energy depend upon certain factors. Factors that affect ionization energy. What are the factors that affect ionization energy? First of all, we learn about the factor. First factor is about the size of the atom. So the first factor that affects ionization energy is atomic size. Atomic size. The next factor is effective nuclear charge, Z star. Third one is screening effect. Screening effect. Okay. Next factor, it is stability of orbitals. Half filled or completely filled orbitals. Completely filled orbitals. Next one is penetration power of orbitals. Penetration power of orbitals. Okay. Okay, next these are the things, and one more shape of orbitals. Penetration power of orbitals or shape of the orbital. So mainly these are the factors. So where when ionization energy is affected. So these are the factors that affect ionization energy. So how these factors affect the ionization energy we will learn. We will learn these factors one by one. First, atomic size. As atomic size increases, uh, the nuclear force of attraction decreases on the last electron. As atomic size increases, the nuclear force of attraction on the last electron decreases. So therefore, what happens? So ionization energy decreases. So when an atom is large size, we can remove an electron easily from that atom by spending less amount of energy only. Okay, so conversely, if atomic size decreases, nuclear force of attraction increases. So then what happens? Then ionization energy increases. So in this way, size of the atom will affect the ionization energy. So that means if atomic size is more, atomic size or atomic radius is more, then ionization energy will be less. That means we can remove the electron from that atom, from the outermost orbit of that atom very easily. Okay, like this. Atomic size will affect the ionization energy. Okay. Next one is effective nuclear charge. So next factor is effective nuclear charge, Z star, or effective nuclear charge. So with increase in effective nuclear charge, what happens? The nuclear force of attraction increases. Nuclear force of attraction increases. Therefore, what happens? Ionization energy increases. Effective nuclear charge will, if the effective nuclear charge is more, then ionization energy is more. That means we cannot remove that electron easily. We have to spend more energy. That means ionization energy is more. Next, third factor. So here third factor is nuclear force of attraction. Nuclear force of attraction. So already we have discussed, when nuclear force of attraction is more, ionization energy will be more. Now the next factor is half filled or completely filled orbitals. Half filled or completely filled orbitals. See, either half filled or completely filled orbitals, they are more stable. When compared to atom with the other type of orbitals. For example, take nitrogen and oxygen. If you see nitrogen and oxygen, So before learning this one, we have to see one more thing. Along a period, along a period, along a period from left to right, along a period from left to right, along a period from left to right, what happens? Left to right. So, what happens? For example, take third period, or is any period. Take second period. What are the second period elements? Lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. See, as we move from one element to the next element, so in lithium, so there are how many positive charges? 3 positive charges in the nucleus, and 3 electrons are there. First electron, second electron, and third electron is present in the second orbit. N is equal to 2. Now if you see beryllium, so nucleus contains 4 positive charges, and first orbit contains 2 electrons, second orbit contains 2 electrons. So now look here, here what is happening? So the orbit is same, lithium and beryllium. So the last orbit is same. That means the distance between the nucleus and that last orbit will be same in lithium as well as beryllium. And if you say, if you see boron, boron again contains 5 positive charges. It contains 5 positive charges. So first orbit 2 electrons, and the 3 electrons are present in the third orbit. So like this. So from lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon up to fluorine. What happens? So as we move from left to right, as we move from left towards right, so what is happening? One more electron is added to the same orbit, same shell. Okay, that means the nucleus distance is same. The nucleus distance from the outermost orbit is same. But here one thing is happening. What is happening? The nucleus is becoming more powerful, because the here 3 protons nucleus, 4 protons nucleus, 5 protons nucleus. So this is more powerful nucleus. But the orbit distance is same in all the atoms. So when orbit distance is same orbit is present, same outermost orbit is present in all the atoms, but nucleus is more powerful. So that is why what happens? So here boron, in boron, the force of attraction on the last orbit will increase, because this nucleus is more powerful than this nucleus. Okay, but the orbit distance is same. So what happens? As we move from lithium to beryllium, size decreases, and from beryllium to boron, size further decreases. So in this way, so from lithium to beryllium, from beryllium to boron, from boron to carbon, from carbon to nitrogen, and like this. So by the time it reaches to fluorine, the size of the atom will be very, very small. Okay, so that means along a period from left to right, atomic size decreases. Along a period from left to right, what happens to atomic size? Atomic size decreases. See, already we learned, when atomic size decreases, ionization energy should increase. So that means, so to remove which electron, it requires more energy. So in order to remove electron from fluorine, it requires more energy than oxygen, like this. So as we move, so what happens? As we move from left to right, atomic size should decrease. When atomic size decreases, ionization energy increases. So that means this element should have less ionization energy than this element should have more ionization energy. Okay, right. So this should be the ionization energy order. So that means lithium will have less ionization than beryllium, should have more less ionization energy than boron, should have less ionization than carbon, should have less ionization energy than nitrogen, should have less ionization energy than oxygen, should have less energy than fluorine. Okay, so it should be like this. Ionization energy order should be like this. But there are some disturbances in this order. Okay, there is no regularity in this order. So that means ionization energy should continuously increase from left to right. But there are some disturbances. That is, there are some irregularities here. For example, take between nitrogen and oxygen. If you see the nitrogen configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. But in oxygen configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. That means last orbit. In last orbit, you will find. So in last orbit, electrons are like this. Here in nitrogen, in last orbit, so electrons are filled like this. This is 2s and this is 2p. Here also it is 2s and it is 2p. See, in nitrogen atom, so this is called as half-filled electronic configuration. Already we have seen about half-filled electron configuration, completely filled electronic configuration and partially filled electronic configuration. So this nitrogen is having completely filled, half-filled electronic configuration, whereas oxygen is having, it is said to be partially filled. It is not completely filled. If all the orbitals of a subshell have one electron only, then it is said to be half filled. But here in this case, so this orbital is not having one electron, whereas the other orbitals are having one electron each. So this is not half filled. This is said to be half filled. So here half filled orbitals are more stable. Okay, that is why in order to remove electron from nitrogen, as it is more stable, it requires more energy when compared to removal of electron from oxygen, because it is not half filled. So already we have seen half filled or completely filled orbitals have more energy, more stable. Okay, whenever there is more stable, so that stable configuration, that atom does not like to disturb its stable configuration. So that means that atom does not like to lose its electron easily. So nitrogen does not lose its electron easily when compared to oxygen. So out of nitrogen and oxygen, so oxygen can the electron from oxygen can be removed easily. That means here oxygen ionization energy is less when compared to nitrogen because of half filled configuration in nitrogen atom. Okay, so that is why it is more stable. So here the order is reversed. The nitrogen is having more stability due to half-filled orbitals, hence it requires more energy to remove an electron from the stable orbitals, stable configuration. So oxygen, it is having unstable configuration or else less stable configuration, so it can lose electron easily when compared to nitrogen atom. So that is why the order will change like this between nitrogen and oxygen. Okay, in the same way, beryllium and boron. If we compare beryllium with boron, now compare beryllium with boron. See, beryllium and boron. Beryllium configuration is 1s2, 2s2. Boron configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. So outermost orbit of beryllium, it is like this, whereas in boron the outermost orbit will be like this. See, look here. Here it is not half filled, or else it is not completely filled. But here in beryllium, it is half filled orbital. 2s, there are 2 electrons. So s orbital have maximum of 2 electrons only. Okay, but here p, it is neither half filled nor completely filled. It is partially filled. So that means this electron can be removed easily when compared to this electron from the beryllium atom. Okay, so that means boron requires less energy to remove an electron from its atom when compared to the removal of electron from the beryllium atom. Okay, so that is why beryllium will have more ionized energy than boron. So here also the order is reversed in this case. So beryllium ionized energy is more than boron. This is what why it is happening, because beryllium is having completely filled orbitals. Any atom which is having completely filled orbital will be more stable when compared to atom which does not have completely filled orbitals or half filled orbitals. Okay, so that is why beryllium's ionization energy is more than boron. So that means the ionization energy, it is not following a regular trend. Okay, so it is following in this fashion. Okay, so this is about half filled orbitals. Now completely filled orbitals, if you see completely filled orbitals, so which atoms possess completely filled orbitals in general? In general, inert gases, all inert gases have completely filled orbitals. So that means all inert gases have stable configuration. All inert gases have stable configuration. Hence, they require more ionization energy. So the ionization energy values of inert gases is very, very high. Ionization energy of inert gases is very high. So what are the inert gases? Here helium, neon, argon, krypton. See, I am writing size wise. Helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, argon. I am writing like this. See, look here. So as we move down the group, the size of the atom is gradually increasing. Whenever the size of the atom increases, ionization energy decreases. So that means out of all inert gases, which inert gas is having less ionization energy? Organism. And which inert gas is having more ionization energy? Helium. So helium possesses highest ionization energy in the entire periodic table. See, look here. Suppose this is the periodic table. See, as we move from left to right, so ionization energy increases. So in any period, so the last element will possess highest ionization energy. Okay, right? So that means here also, to this end, the ionization energy will be maximum. In any period, the last element will possess highest ionization energy. And one more thing. So as we move from left to right, ionization energy increases, and from down to up, what happens? Ionization energy increases again, because as we move from down to up, the size of the atom decreases. Okay, as the size of the atom decreases, it requires more ionization energy. So in this way ionization energy increases, and in this way also ionization energy increases. So overall this, as a whole, what happens? So helium is the element with highest ionization energy value. So which element is having highest ionization energy means helium, we will say. And one more thing, as we move from right to left, what happens? Ionization energy should decrease, and as we move from top to bottom, ionization energy should decrease. So that means from here to here ionization energy decreases, and from here to here ionization energy decreases. So that means which out of all these elements, which element will possess least ionization energy? Francium should possess, but francium is radioactive element, hence we don't consider francium. So we will consider cesium. Cesium is the element with the lowest ionization energy. Okay. So helium, highest ionization energy in the periodic table, and cesium lowest ionization energy lowest ionization energy in the periodic table. So which element possesses lowest ionization energy in the entire periodic table? Here it is cesium. Okay. So here actually we are discussing about the factors that affect ionization energy. So or completely filled orbitals will possess more stable. They are more stable. Hence, the atoms which possess half filled or completely filled orbitals are having extra stability. So they possess more ionization energy when compared to their neighboring atoms. Okay. So in this way, we'll discuss about uh, the half filled orbitals, okay, configuration, and completely filled orbitals configuration. So we'll discuss the other factors in the next session. Other factors that affect ionization energy in the next session we'll discuss. Right.